making his professional debut here tonight, from Team Kelvon, Jamie Lee. And now introducing his opponent on my left, fighting out of the blue corner and wearing the grey shorts. He has a professional MMA record of 1 win with just 2 defeats. From next generation, Ste Hodgeson.
Lightweight action here at OMMAC 15. Jamie Lee in the black Hayabusa shorts taking on Ste Hodgeson in the grey tap-out shorts. I'm David Leatherby, alongside me Jay Furness, and Jay, this bout pitting the 2 most famous gyms in the city, Next Generation and Calburn.
Yeah, it's not often you see these gyms taking each other on, but you know, you're almost always guaranteed a good fight when you do. 2 very well-versed gyms, you know, great coaches, and always have a great stable of guys. So excited to see them take each other on tonight. Quick exchange early on, and it's Hodgson who now has the dominant position on the cage, looking for a takedown on Lee.
Lee very calm now, fighting the hands.
Yeah, it looks very relaxed. Hodgson's got that grip underneath the leg, but he's just working, pushing his hip in, and you know, good leg positioning, just stopping his opponent from being able to drag that leg out to finish that single leg takedown.
Excellent takedown defense shown thus far from Jamie Lee.
Yeah, working that cross face in now, trying to peel his man off. So Lee looks calm, but he's been taken down. He's got great balance, manages to stay on his feet there despite his opponent sucking his hips all the way in.
Now trying to control the head of Hodgson.
That crossface is an effective tactic if you can work that forearm in and try and peel your man the opposite way. Hodgson really diligently working for this takedown though.
Well, the problem for Lee, Jay, is, I guess in the eye of the judges, Hodgson is dictating where this fight is at the moment, although he's not landing any strikes and he can't quite keep his man down. He is having him pressed against the cage, so it could be argued he's the aggressor here. Yep,
Lee landed a couple of good elbows there. There's a little bit of blood now, but yeah, you know, if he can keep this position and not take any damage, then you know, he's dictating it. But you've got referee Mark Goddard there just trying to press the action and try and get these guys, you know, being a little bit more active.
So white.
And they're separated off the cage there. Hodgson's going to have to start again. I think this is where Lee will want it, out in the open. Works with a nice jab.
Can't quite see where the cut is on Hodgson, Jay. I'm not sure if it'll come into play at all.
Oh, it might have clipped in there with a counter punch, and Lee swarms in.
As I say that, Jay, throws his legs up well.
Yeah, tricky. He's a very rangy, tall guy for this weight, but Lee's pummeling away with punches there. Hodgson does a great job of finding his way back to his feet. There's some blood on Lee's elbow, so I'm pretty sure it's coming from Hodgson somewhere. Hard to tell from our position though, but Hodgson's taking them punches, he's back on his feet, and it looks reasonably fresh.
Looking for the guillotine now, trying to swim that other arm through. Obviously so difficult, Jay, to get an arm in guillotine on a guy that, you know, is in this position. Difficult to get the leverage.
Yep, he's trying to work that arm in, so his opposite arm's not a factor, but he can't quite get it, and now it's Lee stuffing his man on the fence. He's doing a good job of just, you know, keeping his head positioned nice and high and not letting Hodgson break him down to really try and finish that guillotine. He's controlling the choking arm as well, so he's quite safe.
Referee Mark Goddard again calling for action here, as it's now Lee that has Hodgson up against the fence.
Switches to that guillotine again. The arm looks a little bit tighter this time. Nope, and he gives it up as Lee looks for a takedown. Nope, he's still got it in. He's got quite long, wiry arms, and that guillotine might be tight, Dave.
Lee does well to survive that one. You can see Hodgson clearly taking instructions from his corner team there, Jay. They want him to look for that choke.
But Lee's done a good job of just dragging his man down to the mat there, and he's not quite free yet, but he's almost there. Hodgson's still holding on to that arm around the neck, looking to try and finish, and he gives it up now, and Lee's on top. looking to try and sink his hooks in and take the back there. Hodgson's efforts for that guillotine choke have gone to waste, it seems.
Obviously, Jay, a lot of people always talk about the effect a guillotine attempt will have on the guy doing it, you know, with that muscle. As a pro yourself, how sapping is that when you're trying to put a guillotine on a guy for a long period of time?
Yeah, I mean, if you're really trying to throw it on with a lot of effort, then it can burn your arms out quite quickly. But from that position that Hodgson was in, it was more, you know, trying to find a better position as opposed to really squeezing hard. So I don't think it will have been too blown out by that attempt. 10 seconds left in the round, and Lee clears a bit of distance. Hodgson straight in for that single leg. And the round ends there. Both guys had some spells of success, but Lee probably with definitely had more strikes and probably the more dominant positions as well. So in my eyes, that's a round up to the Cowboy man.
Yeah, very close round. Obviously, the first half of it was played out positionally more than anything, but as you say, Lee perhaps catching the eyes of the judges with those little elbows in there. I mean, there's blood coming from somewhere. It could even be blood from Lee's elbow itself, I guess. From our vantage point, we can't quite see if there's a cut on Hodgson. But yeah, Lee did well to weather the early takedown attempts and almost looked to have his man in trouble, but I'm not sure how much trouble Lee was in, because he did throw up the... how much trouble Hodgson was in, because he did throw up the legs for a submission attempt. So it's a very evenly matched bout here, but I agree with you, Jay. Probably got Jamie Lee going in one round up now.
Yeah, I mean, the moment he caught a good counter shot, and then he weighed in with some solid punches for the ground and pound, and to me that weighs more in his favour than anything that Hodgson managed to do in that first round. But it's all to fight for in round two, and they seem quite evenly matched so far.
Yeah, excellent lightweight bout here at OMMAC 15. Hodgson does look a massive lightweight, Jay. Yeah,
very tall for the weight, quite rangy. Lee obviously a stockier guy, but Hodgson, you know, for his style, he wants the takedowns. It's not always the best style for the best body type for the kind of wrestling game that he's trying to employ. But he's working well to his opponent's back there, trying to get that trip. He's got a head and arm tied up. This could be quite dangerous. Yeah, generally, guys of that stature you see as have been rangy strikers, you know, using straights and, you know, kicks, and on the ground usually dangerous off the back. But Hodgson really wants a top position, and he's really been searching for that takedown.
Getting the switch there.
That's good wrestling from both guys there. It's that defence, you know, hooking under that leg, stopping Lee from taking him down. Hodgson did really well, but it's Lee that's still maintaining his this dominance on the cage. Throws in a big knee there.
It really is a real war of attrition here between these two in the grappling range. Looks very, very tough work, and as I say, that Hodgson again looking perhaps for that guillotine he looked for in the first round. And I mean, I mentioned it in the first period in Hodgson's favour, Jake. With Lee pushing his man to the fence, that only looks good in the eyes of the judges for me.
Yeah, the guy who's got his back on the fence really doesn't want to stay there. He needs to be, you know, using an underhook and trying to turn his back off the cage to get the more dominant position, which is being the guy who's pushing the man against the fence. You know, Hodgson seems a little bit too content for me to just keep his back on the fence. He needs to be turning his man off. As I say that, he looks for a tie clinch, and then back in the middle of the cage. Lee looks the more comfortable man striking.
Yeah, I agree with that. Both guys showing signs of fatigue to me as well. Both with mouths open at the moment. Lovely takedown from Jamie Lee.
Lee's done a great job there. Just timed his opponent's punches, ducked under, and that's the best time to shoot a takedown in MMA. His opponent's lunged forward, and you know, he took advantage of that. Hodgson again might be looking to try and set up a choke here.
I mean, the advantage Hodgson's got from this point of view, Jay, is he's right next to his corner team there, and you know, he's getting some instruction from the outside from his coaches there, and that, you know, as a pro, Jay, if you're able to listen to that, surely that's got to help you.
Yeah, as a confidence booster, and just little tweaks, like, you know, especially when you've got a guy like Paul Rimmer in your corner, you know, a really well-established grappler, BJJ black belt himself, it's going to be good advice. But Jamie Lee manages to find his way out of that choke. Hodgson has looked active off his back so far tonight, though, so let's see if he's got a few more tricks to throw Lee's way.
Yeah, as we gave the first round to Jamie Lee, Ste Hodgeson's really got to get busy in this second period. Spent a lot of it with his back against the cage. Now with his back to the canvas, he's going to have to look to work.
Yeah, and Lee is not rushing anything, just the old body head tactic, and just staying on top and just waiting for an opening. He's not being too reckless. Say it's his pro debut, he's doing a good job so far.
Yeah, a very mature performance from Jamie Lee thus far. A very impressive debut here at OMMAC 15.
You see Hodgson, he keeps trying to tie up the arm, maybe looking for the triangle. A guy with legs like that, you know, they've got dangerous a game to play off the back with triangles and arm bars. But they're stood back up, and that advantage is negated as they go back to the feet. As you say, Dave, both guys looking a little bit tired at this point. Nice low kick there, lands from Lee, and they're banging now, both swinging big punches. And Lee's going to look for that takedown again on the fence.
Yeah, it's good work from Lee because it got a bit erratic there, and you know, at that point, Jay, anybody can get clipped, and he was content to stand in the slugfest area only for a short time and then went back in the legs. Yeah, he's one round up, he doesn't have to do anything stupid here.
Yeah, and he could well be on his way to being a second round up as well, so as you say, he doesn't need to get caught in those exchanges. Hodgson doing a good job of staying on his feet, but as I say that, Lee manages to complete that takedown, and he's inside Hodgson's guard again. And Lee is going to finish the round on top, but Hodgson's throwing a few elbows. But for me, again, that's a good round for Lee. Close, you know, he didn't have quite the dominant positions he had in round one, and didn't manage to get the strikes off that he did in round one. But for me, again, he's done enough to be 2 rounds up in this fight, I think.
Yeah, I agree, Jay. I mean, obviously it's hard for us to score a bout sat here, but positionally, Jamie Lee certainly had the advantage in that round. Ste Hodgeson, he's looked dangerous with the guillotines, especially from the standing position, but when he's got down to his back, I mean, you mentioned his body type, you would like to see him perhaps throwing those legs up and looking for your triangles and your arm bars. I know it's easy for me to say from this position, but he hasn't really been active enough when he's been put on his back by Jamie Lee, in my opinion. Yeah,
and to be fair, in modern day MMA, the way fights are scored, the standing guillotine, unless you're 90 to 95% certain you've got it, you don't really want to be pulling to that position, because guys are good at defending it now, and you know, when you're on top, you're winning the fight in the eyes of the judges, so it's not a great position for him to be in. I'd like to see him, trying to clear the arms a little bit and get his back off the cage and see what he can do from the centre of the cage and work for top position more, because you know, you're losing fights off your back. Great experience for Jamie Lee in his pro debut, though, to get into this third round. A lot of the time you see guys who are coming in and they're finishing fights in 20 seconds in the first fight, and you don't learn that much, but this will do a lot for Lee's character.
Yeah, credit to both gyms for putting up 2 very evenly matched guys, and Jamie Lee's landed that low kick at various points throughout the fight, Jay, and he seems to be having some real success with it in this final round.
Yeah, he's landed about 5 or 6 really clean so far in this last round. That's a better tactic for Lee, and he shoots under for a takedown again. If I was him, I would have been urging myself to keep it striking, because he's doing a great job against Hodgson there, landing them low kicks, you know, without many of them being checked or blocked. So, but he finds himself in top position, and this is where he wants to be.
Yeah, I mean, from Lee's point of view, as he looks to take the back now from Hodgson.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to finish when Hodgson shrugged him off like that. That's good work in the defensive strategies from Hodgson, but Lee's still on top. I'm not quite sure. I think it's the corner's been told to wander down to their own space.
Yeah, I think it was an extra member of the crowd, Jay, that was trying to get involved. Obviously, you can't come close to the cage to give instructions. We spoke about what an advantage that is earlier on.
Yeah, and Hodgson there was trying to work elbows from the bottom, but it's Lee who does a good job of posturing and trying to throw these heavier punches in now. The long legs of Hodgson, I'd like to see him work them up for submissions more. but he seems content to try and just use them elbows from the bottom. Lee seems comfortable on top though. He's not really been threatened with sweeps or submissions, so you know he'll stay in this position. As I say that, he's working the arm in for that triangle, trying to trap an arm, but Lee's aware and it is up and out.
Hodgson giving up, his back in the scramble there.
Yeah, he's shown us that he's got good defence from this position. There's been a few times where Lee has tried to get both hooks in on his opponent's back, and Hodgson's done a good job of defending it, but Lee's got them both in this time. He's a little bit high on the back though.
Dangerous position for Ste Hodgeson, as Jamie Lee has both hooks in now.
That's a better position, hips down nice and low, both hooks are in, and he's fighting for that choke. Hodgson trying to turn into him, but it's very dangerous from this position when his opponent's, you know, he's got that seatbelt grip and he's nice and tight.
I mean, from Lee's point of view, Jay, as well, he is ahead in this fight. He doesn't have to do anything too drastic.
When he's in this dominant position, you know, he can try and hold that position. Like you say, in our, you know, sort of unqualified scorecards, he's 2 rounds up. So if he can maintain a dominant position for the rest of this fight, you know, it's his fight and he's going to take a decision. But obviously, any fighter would prefer a finish inside the distance than to go all the way. So I'm sure he's going to give it his all to try and solidify this position and get a choke there. It looks quite tight, just as I say that.
That does look very tight. Ste Hodgeson grimacing. I think it's just on the jaw right now, Jay. But still, tremendous pressure being asserted here by Jamie Lee.
That's a lot of pressure.
A tap?
Yep, there it is. There's the tap. That's a great fight there from Jamie Lee. Good debut performance. Not an easy fight by any means. He stepped up to a tough fight from a guy from a very good gym, and he's done really well. He's shown excellent skills in all ranges and managed to get a finish in the 3rd round.
Ladies and gentlemen, before the official result, show of appreciation to both fighters, please. After 3 minutes and 42 seconds of the 3rd round, your winner by rear naked choke in the red corner from Team Cameron, Jamie Lee. And once again, appreciation please to the red corner, Ste Hodgeson. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll now make a